Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Of course, it is Pride Week and the big parade is this Sunday, and there's all sorts of things going on in Vancouver and some very special guests here this year.
Yeah, every year Vancouver Pride helps promote Pride activities around the world and in other areas where it isn't so obvious the rights of the GLBT community. We are joined by Nicolay Alexeyev. He's a Russian Pride activist and a 2010 Vancouver Pride Parade Grand Marshal. We are very happy to have you in our city. How are you, Nicolay?
I'm okay. Thank you for inviting me.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. So you've been here for about a week. It's your first time in Vancouver. What do you think of Vancouver?
Well, I think it's a great city. I love it here. I love the people here. I love Canada in general, and I am having a very good time here.
Good. Tell us about your trip to Vancouver, because this for you has obviously deep meaning and plays into what you're doing back in your home country. Why are you in Vancouver right now?
Well, I was invited by Vancouver Pride Society to be a Grand Marshal of the Pride Parade, and I think it's very important to show people in Western countries and in Canada what is going on in other countries, that it's quite difficult to organize the same marches in other countries. What you take for granted here is absolutely impossible to do in many countries. Impossible, illegal, dangerous, and there's a great film people will be able to see tonight, actually. It's called Beyond Gay, Politics of Pride, and you'll be at the screening. And it really educated me and Michael about what rights people don't have around the world. And maybe you can tell us about gay rights in Russia and how difficult it has been for you. Well, you must understand that what we're fighting for now is what we already should have without any changes in the legislation, which is three basics of any democratic society, which is freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom of association. These three pillars of democracy are not respected in terms of LGBT people in Russia. So we've been trying to organize the Pride Parade since 2006. It was the fifth year this time. We've been trying to register organizations of LGBT people which are being denied, and just now when I came here, just a few days before I came here, we had a court hearing on the denial of registration of Marriage Equality Russia. So the organization fighting for marriage equality in Russia, it was denied registration and we lost it in court. And the court said that you cannot register organizations which are calling for the changes in the legislation, which is a total stupidity. So doesn't make a lot of sense. And you don't have any freedom of expression. So basically what the authorities are trying to do, they try to keep you as silent as possible. They try to keep you in the closet so that you don't try to come out and to say who you are.
Hence your demonstration and how important that becomes, because it is a symbol of the entire community in Russia standing up and saying, we're here. We are part of your society. There's nothing to be scared of. Is that part of it, just to maybe just get people to forget their fears, their ideas, their homophobia, these things that they've, sort of become ingrained? Unfortunately, in such a repressive regime, there are not so many people who are ready to come out on the streets and to fight for their rights. And this does not only concern gay people, it also concerns the opposition and the people who are fighting for other rights, for other rights of other minorities. It's just the question that people are scared. And there are, of course, some people who are ready to go and to fight, and that's what we see with the Moscow Pride movement, which became like a symbol. The most important is that it became a symbol of not only the fight for LGBT rights, it became a symbol of fight for democracy, for freedom of assembly in Russia. Because every year, for 5 years, on almost the same day, a group of people is going out, they're being covered all around the world by the media, they're giving a very bad image of what is Russia at the moment, and the authorities are very annoyed by what we're doing. So they don't try to change the situation, unfortunately. But this year we hopefully get the decision of the European Court finally about the bans of the first 3 Moscow Prides in 2006, 7 and 8, and we're hoping to have the decision this year. And you mentioned fear, and we were looking at some footage of somebody being attacked right in front of the media, right in front of the police. Obviously there's every reason to be scared. How do you think, how long do you think it's going to take to change that in Russia? I think it will take some time, but as I said, the decision of the European Court will be a turning point, because Russia is obliged to respect this decision. It will maybe not do it immediately, but within 1, 2, 3 years they will have to respect it, and they will have to allow LGBT people to march and to manifestate. How much inspiration do you take when you're visiting other places? You've been to Toronto, you've been to Montreal, we were talking a little bit about Sydney in Australia earlier, and if you go back 20, I was going to say 30 years, but 20 years here in Vancouver, this was a very different day, the Pride celebration. How much inspiration do you take from the changes that we've seen here to what you're doing back in Russia?
I'm always saying, when you ask someone in Russia, the gay people even, many people who are saying that, will you take part in the gay pride in Moscow? They say, no, we don't want this because it's dangerous, it should be a festival, it should be a carnival, it should be a celebration, like it is in the West. I said, no, in the West it also started as a human rights demonstration. It never started as a carnival, it always been a fight for political human rights, for civil rights. And it's very easy to go to the West to participate. Will you participate in London Pride? Will you participate in Berlin Pride? In New York? Of course I will. Oh, that's fun, and it's carnival and so on. But I mean, you shouldn't get your rights on the plate. When someone brings them to you on the plate, you should fight for them. And that's what we're doing. And some people want to change things, to present them in a way as if we're doing something which didn't happen in the West. We're doing exactly the same. It's just that it's delayed by 30 years.
Tell us about the logistics for you when you organize your Pride marches and what you have to do to gather and how long you gather for before it gets broken up.
For your peaceful demonstration.
I can tell you is that our feature is that, and what annoys the authorities is that we are never repeating ourselves. We are always doing a new scenario. And if you look at all the Prides since 2006 up to 2010, all 5 years were different. The first demonstration was really scary because there were thousands of anti-gay protesters on the streets, there were beatings on the streets, there was police violence, it was terrible. And I think that was, the authorities really wanted to stop it at the first demonstration, and that no one has any idea to do it again anymore. And that's the scenario which was used in Serbia, in Belgrade in 2001, when people were beaten, and after that there was a huge span when no one did anything. So, and then 2007 was also quite violent, and since 2008 we're trying to avoid this violence, at least the violence, maybe not the police, but at least the violence, so that people are not beaten up on the streets. And what you see in this documentary, Beyond Gay, the Politics of Pride, is the Pride in 2008 in Moscow, when we had two actions, one of them in front of the Tchaikovsky monument, when people came, brought the media and unveiled their banners. Tchaikovsky is a very well-known Russian gay composer.
And at the same time,
and at the same time, almost at the same time, 10 minutes difference, in maybe 500-600 meters from there, we unveiled this banner from the window right in front of the Moscow City Hall, which was very difficult to find this flat for rent on a daily basis because it's a very expensive area. But we did it, and it didn't work, by the way, the previous year in 2007 because we didn't find this flat in 2007. So we had to do it in 2008, but we did it. And in 2009 we linked it to the Eurovision Song Contest in Moscow, which brought, of course, additional media attention, and it was very violent from the police, but it was a whole military operation because we had a sort of a conference outside the city, 80 kilometers, and in the morning we had to arrive with the buses inside the city. And Moscow is a city which is with the circle road all around, and there is a police on all the entrances to the city. So you can guess that if you enter with the bus will be immediately stopped, and you will not be able to do anything. So we had to do the plan. We just arrived one train station before the Circle Road. People went out, took their train, went one station inside the city, and then another buses were waiting for them there, and they took them to the demonstration.
One step ahead.
Nicolay,
Nicolay, thank you so much.
Proud.
And Nicolay will be part of the Vancouver Pride Parade as one of the Grand Marshals, which is happening this Sunday, August the 1st at noon, and it's a huge parade this year. And the film that we're talking about, and you were looking at clips from, is Beyond Gay, Politics of Pride. It will be screening tonight, 7 o'clock, at the Van City Theatre. BigGayMovie.com is the website if you want to find out more information.
Nicolay, thank you. We support your struggle, and I'm sure everyone in Vancouver does as well. So best of luck, and thank you so much. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Meg Toome will be joining us from the District of Squamish. So much news, so many stories in the headlines right now about human interaction with bears. We're going to find out how you can be bear aware right after this. Stick around.